Ahoy, and welcome. This is Admiral.
Wololo.
Today we're going to talk about man's best friend, the canine companion who has been there since the very beginning. An apex predator that outperforms its wild cousins, and brutally beats even the best of the barely buffed beasts. Long before the addition of wild camels, chickens, crocs, and cows was the hunting wolf, which appeared in the original Age of Kings in 1999. But has since kept a somewhat low profile outside of a surprisingly long list of campaign cameos, from Genghis to Kublai Khan and beyond. The unit itself further appears as an additional starting unit in Sherwood Forest, which can potentially enter the ranked pool, and which is largely why we'll be looking into it today. Tally-ho! On the old as well as the reimagined Sherwood Forest maps, the hunting wolf shows up alongside the standard starting 3 villagers and scout for a generic civilization, and can be very loosely approximated as a second scout, in that it takes up 1 population space and can explore and fight. But of course there are many differences. One of the most obvious is its high base damage for a Dark Age unit, starting off with a hard-hitting melee attack of 8, but with no bonus damage of any kind. Speaking of bonus damage, the Hunting Wolf takes all kinds as it has 0 of the hidden base armor class. Base armor is sometimes used as shorthand for a unit's starting melee and pierce armor before upgrades, but in this case we're talking about the specific type called base armor, which can be understood as universal bonus damage resistance, and for most units is set to 10,000 by default.
10,000?
It's over 9,000!
When developers or modders want a new unit to take a certain type of bonus damage, as infantry, cavalry, and so forth, they add the corresponding armor class and set it to 0, which overrides the 10,000 base armor only for that specific class of damage. Since the Hunting Wolf has 0 base armor, or 0 default bonus damage resistance, it takes bonus damage from every unit that deals it, making it surprisingly squishy against many common units, despite its impressive-looking 100 hit points, 2 melee and pierce armor, and regeneration of 30 hit points per minute as a hero unit. In practice, this means that generic Dark Age scouts do 7 damage to the Hunting Wolf, 1 damage plus their 6 bonus damage against monks. This also means that Hunting Wolves take extra damage from scouts with any kind of bonus attack. For example, Hindustani scouts plus 2 building bonus damage applies here, as does the Poles plus 1 damage against archers. From Feudal Age, pointy boys are to be avoided especially, as they are the absolute bane of good boys.
Look how they massacred my boy.
So what are these wolves good for exactly? Well, true to their name, hunting wolves can hunt, or at least attack animals, and can easily handle many of their wild cousins at once, as they only take a single damage point from a Gaia wolf. So you can partially conceive of it as an anti-animal animal that allows you to clear out wolves and bears without taking any lasting damage to your scouts or villagers. You can also use it to push deer, and even lure boars, for which they are very well suited by virtue of their speed and regeneration. Although boars and boar variants are notable among animals for having high base attack and several types of bonus damage, so they do end up dealing 20 attack per hit to a hunting wolf. This should not deter you from luring, but be aware. Distance boar luring even seems to be the main intent for hunting wolves on Sherwood Forest, as all boars spawn far enough away from your town center that luring with villagers isn't very safe or practical. Although do pay attention, as the maze of trees can slow down and potentially de-aggro the boar if you're not careful. Aside from hunting for food, you may be interested in trying to get early villager kills, which you certainly can do if you avoid common pitfalls, including getting too close to the enemy town center, as each of its arrows when garrisoned will deal 19 damage. Generic villagers by themselves deal 16 damage to the hunting wolf, making it a close fight, but they still lose one-on-one even with Loom, and of course get completely destroyed without it. After Loom, there's safety in numbers, as 2 villagers, or a villager with a scout, or your own hunting wolf, can defeat the enemy wolf without taking any losses. Magyar villagers have little to fear as they can one-shot hunting wolves, proving once again that humans are in fact the true apex predators. Other fun facts about the hunting wolf are that you can make it run at 1.5 tiles per second when you order it to attack, which has some obvious uses and some less obvious exploits. For example, you can target explored but obscured enemy buildings or Gaia animals in the fog of war to get around faster. I've even found an exploit whereby you can make the hunting wolf run without targeting anything by shift-clicking a route on the minimap. I think this is unintentional behavior that was not tested for, but until this gets patched out, it has a variety of use cases, such as exploring the map much more quickly, running home when wounded even if there are no Gaia animals to target near your town center, or even rushing to your opponent's base with unexpected haste in the very early game to lame, or perhaps even snipe a lone villager before loom. Also note that hunting wolves have the infantry class, meaning they benefit from infantry technologies and bonuses. For example, in Dark Age, Celt hunting wolves move a little faster, and any civilization that keeps their wolf alive until feudal will get the +2 line of sight from free tracking, and will be eligible for infantry blacksmith upgrades. If we manage to keep that Celt hunting wolf around until Imperial Age, they can move at an incredible 1.8 tiles per second when running. From Feudal Age, Japanese wolves attack faster, Burmese wolves gain attack, and Viking wolves gain more hit points. And if you research the Chieftain's technology, the ability to gain gold from villager, monk, and trade cart kills. Armenian wolves gain an extra 2 line of sight from their team bonus, giving them essentially the Mongol Scout LOS bonus for their wolves. And they can get +30 hit points from the Ferreters technology. Slavic wolves benefit from Druzhina, Dravidian wolves with Woot's Fangs ignore armor, and so forth. This applies to every general infantry bonus or technology except those that increase bonus damage, as the hunting wolf has none to increase. Naturally, the effect of these late-game technologies here is little more than a curiosity, as the hunting wolf doesn't scale well against enemy armies as it still takes all kinds of bonus damage. And of course, you cannot train more than your starting wolf. All the same, I think it's cool, if certainly quirky, that it benefits from civilization bonuses and technologies. I think the best overall hunting wolf belongs to the Sicilians, as it reduces their greatest weakness by taking 40% less bonus damage. And despite the general weakness against many enemy military units, there are a couple exceptions worth highlighting. The first is against archers, which don't rely much on bonus damage and have low hit points, making it easy to snipe them if alone or in pairs, and even in groups of 3 you can often kill one and run away to regenerate, although I wouldn't attempt it on 4 or more archers without backup or distractions. Roman wolves are especially good here with their doubly effective armor upgrades. Hunting wolves are also good against militia, which don't have any bonus damage yet, and can deal with the man-at-arms or feudal age scout very handily. They're also less terrible against knights than you might expect due to knights' lack of bonus damage, although knights do still win in a 1v1, but you could hit and run with the exploit we've talked about. One other noteworthy interaction is against monks, as the hunting wolf cannot be converted. The hunting wolf's presence on a possible ranked map is a little surprising given the sanitizing that many of the wilder maps have undergone, but I'm here for it, with all the nostalgia and chaos it entails. And it's arguably at least semi-balanced in that everyone gets one. Stat tweaks at some point are very plausible, but for now it allows for some of the most unusual and potentially chaotic starts of any map that might appear in the ranked pool. If I were to tweak the wolf beyond stat changes, I'd consider leaning further into the hunting aspect by repurposing the obsolete kidnap mechanic, and letting hunting wolves pick up small animals like hares, chickens, and maybe even foxes, and bring them back to your town center one at a time. But as per the kidnap mechanic, they would have to drop them to attack. Anyway, those are my thoughts, but what do you think about the hunting wolf? Would you be open to seeing more such variety on a general or map-specific basis? Or is this more than enough madness to handle for now? Let me know in the comments. That's all for today, and thanks for watching. This has been me, hoping you have happy hunting with this historic hero howler. Till next time.